If a student of knowledge speaks with innovation, student of knowledge, talib ilm, speaks with innovation, with bid'ah, and calls to it, but he is a person who has knowledge of fiqh and hadith, does it necessitate that due to his innovation, his knowledge and speech is abandoned, and that he is not used at all in his knowledge, he is not utilized at all in his knowledge? So this again is an important question, because, it's the baby and the bathwater question. That, if a person has an error or a deviation, he's a caller to innovation, and he has calls to bid'ah, but he has knowledge in fiqh and hadith. So he knows about tahara, he knows about salah, he knows about mustalah hadith, the sciences of hadith. He knows how to distinguish between a hadith that is sahih and a hadith that is da'if, because he studied, he's a talib ilm in that sense. Does it necessitate that due to his innovation, you stop taking everything from him? Basically, you throw out the baby with the bathwater kind of thing? And his knowledge is not utilized at all? So the Shaykh said, yes, he is not to be relied upon. He is not to be relied upon. If he is an innovator who announces and calls to his innovations, he is not to be relied upon. And one should not study under him, because the one who studies under him will be affected by his shaykh and affected by his knowledge. So it is obligatory. Shaykh al-Fawzan said, so it is obligatory to stay away from Ahlul Bid'ah. And the Salaf would prohibit from sitting with the innovators, visiting them and traveling to them out of fear that their evil may affect the one who sits with them or mixes with them. So that's absolutely clear from the Shaykh. Now we're talking about the caller to innovation and the mubtadi', upon whom it is clear that this person is sitting there and he's calling to his deviation openly. But let's say he's an expert in usul al-fiqh, and he will read to you the tafsir, even the tafsir of Ibn Kathir, but he's an innovator. He's a mubtadi, Khariji maybe, Ash'ari maybe, Mu'tazili maybe, Ikhwani, Tablighi, whatever. This person is a person of bid'ah, and he calls to it. And this person, nothing is to be taken from him. Yes, he's not thiqah to be taken knowledge from. He's not trusted and relied upon to take knowledge from. Then I'll add a note to that, and we'll mention some examples of the danger of being affected by them, by Ahlul Bid'ah. So we have the case of Imran bin Hittan. Imran bin Hittan narrated hadith from a group of the Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum. So look how early we're talking. He was from Ahlus Sunnati wal Jama'ah in the beginning of his affair. However, due to his companionship and mixing with the Khawarij, he became affected and afflicted by the madhab of the Khawarij. And Yaqub bin Shaybah said about him, the reason for that, from that which has reached us, is that the daughter of his paternal uncle, the daughter of basically his first cousin, held the views of the Khawarij, and he wanted to marry her. So he married her, hoping to convince her to recant from her views. Instead, she turned him to her madhab of the Khawarij. So he left Ahlus Sunnah and he started reviling Ali radiyallahu anhu. So this has been recorded from Yaqub bin Shaybah in Tahdhib al-Tahdhib, volume 8. Imam al-Dhahabi rahimahullah, the great Imam, he said that Abu al-Walid al-Baji said in his book, or said in the book, Ikhtisar Firq al-Fuqaha. So a summary of the sects of the jurists. When discussing Al-Qadi Abu Bakr al-Baqillani, who died in the year 403, so this is 1,000 years ago. When discussing Al-Qadi, the judge, Abu Bakr al-Baqillani. Now the Ash'aris love him. He's one of the scholars of the Ash'ariyah. So he said, Abu al-Walid al-Baji, he said, I asked Abu Dhar al-Harawi, or Abu Dhar al-Harawi, who died in the year 434 after the Hijrah. And he was inclined to the Ash'ari creed. So I said to him, from where did you get this aqeedah? He replied, on an occasion I was walking with Abu al-Hasan ad-Daruqutni, who died in the year 385, the great muhaddith and scholar. I was walking with him, with ad-Daruqutni in Baghdad, and we met Abu Bakr ibn al-Tayyib al-Baqillani, the Ash'ari. So ad-Daruqutni embraced him and kissed his face and eyes. When they parted company, Al-Harawi said, Abu Dhar al-Harawi said to ad-Daruqutni, he said, what's this that you've just done? I cannot believe that you would do such a thing. And you are the scholar of the era? Yani, why are you hugging this, embracing this Ash'ari for? Al-Baqillani. So Daruqutni said, he's an Imam of the Muslims, a defender of the religion, Al-Qadi Abu Bakr, Muhammad ibn al-Tayyib. He said, so when he said that to me, from that moment onwards, I individually continued to visit Abu Bakr al-Baqillani. And then over time, I started following his aqeedah. So he became Ash'ari. He saw a scholar embrace an innovator, and Shaitan used that as a madkhal to deviate Abu Dhar al-Harawi. Imam al-Dhahabi said, look what happened afterwards. Imam al-Dhahabi said, Abu Dhar took al-kalam, which is rhetoric and speculation, religious speculative theology. He took al-kalam and the creed of Abu al-Hasan al-Ash'ari, and we mentioned the Ash'ari earlier. So you know what he took? He took their creed of the Kullabiyya from Abu Bakr ibn al-Tayyib al-Baqillani. He took it from him. He embraced it and spread it in Mecca. Then the Maghribis, meaning the people of North Africa, took it from him and carried it. So they would come to make Hajj and Umrah. So they sat with Abu Dhar al-Harawi because he said, you're a scholar. You sat with Daruqutni and you are a man of knowledge. So they took that Ash'ari creed and kalam and they took it back to North Africa, modern day Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, and Spain. Imam al-Dhahabi said, before this, the scholars of Al-Maghrib did not used to engage in speculative theology, in al-kalam, meaning the ideas of the Mu'tazila and the Kullabiyya. Rather, they would seek precision in matters of fiqh, hadith, and Arabic. And they would not engage in futile discussions based upon the intellect. So they weren't Mu'tazili, and they weren't before that Ash'ari or anything. And this was the way of some of the scholars he mentions, like Abu al-Walid, Ibn al-Faradi, Abu Umar, Talmanki, Makki al-Qisi, Abu Umar al-Dani, Abu Umar ibn Abdul Barr, and other scholars. They weren't upon the Ash'ariyah. But when these people came back from Mecca after sitting with Abu Dhar al-Harawi, they started spreading the Ash'ari Aqidah, and that's how Ash'ariyah entered into Spain and North Africa in the 5th century. So look how Daruqutni's conduct with al-Baqillani, the Ash'ari, in his praise of him was enough to deceive those watching him. He extolled him and he called him an Imam of the Muslims, such that Abu Dhar al-Harawi adopted the madhab of the Ash'ira, and then it reached the Maghrib and Spain. And this is the case with anyone who praises Ahlul Bid'ah and Ahlul Ahwa, the people of Bid'ah and the people of desires. He may become the reason for large numbers of people following their beliefs and methodologies. And this is especially so if the one praising them is seen to be a person of knowledge and upon the correct path. So imagine if a Salafi scholar, everyone looks at him and you see it sometimes happen. And say, but that scholar sat with them. Who do you sit with? The Ash'aris. So what does that mean? Well, the Ash'aris must be all right, otherwise you wouldn't sit with them. Because that's Amatul Nas, that's how they think. Even a student of knowledge can start thinking like that. And then they think, no, the Shaykh did it, so you're mutashaddid. The Shaykh is balanced, you're harsh. Up until you start reading the works of the likes of Shaykh al-Fawzan, and you read the diqqah and the daqaiq or the details and the precision in their speech.